Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name's Alex. If you've never seen my face before, I like to make videos about science, about reading, and just about day-to-day life of being a social media coordinator. And today's video is going to be about me reading two sequels that I've pre-ordered that were really popular releases last year that I read recently. Thought it would be a good idea to do a little reading vlog in case you guys are also interested in these books and you want to find out if they're worth reading or purchasing. In this video, we're going to be reading Fury Bound and Broken Dove. They're coming out really close to each other and I've pre-ordered them before going on holiday. So I've been looking forward to them arriving at my house and for us to read them together. I'm going to keep this video spoiler free, but I'm going to be talking to you guys as if you've already read the first books in the series. I think that's everything for now, but please do subscribe to my channel because I'm very new to this and I'm just putting out there videos that I think you guys might enjoy, that I enjoy making. But yeah, I'm really grateful for everyone who's subscribed so far and who's liking and commenting on my videos. And yeah, let's get into this video. Today's the day, guys. Today's the release day of Fury Bound and I have pre-ordered the book and it's actually arrived in this package 20 minutes ago and I am very excited to open it with you guys and for us to start reading this book together because I started my reading journey last August and I've been catching up on a lot of books that everyone has already read apparently. So this is probably the first time where I'm anticipating a new release, so I'm very excited to see what this new book is about and I really hope it's good because lately I've been hating every single sequel after the first book and it's starting to really piss me off. Oh my goodness, is this book chunky. So this is Fury Bound. It comes out today. I ordered this on Amazon, I pre-ordered it and it's honestly so thick. I usually read all my books on Kindle, so I never get to see how big they are in real life, but this is what the book looks like, the Amazon version in the UK, title on the side, and then this is what the dust jacket has on the inside. Hopefully you can see that. And for those of you who are new to my channel, please do subscribe. I have no idea what I'm doing. What I do know is that I love reading and I love making videos and hopefully we can grow this channel and all read our favorite things and get to talk about them because yeah, that's what life is all about, really. Welcome back to the first book update. I'm about 100%... Welcome back to the first book update. I'm about 100 pages into Fury Bound. I took the dust jacket off because I found it really annoying. I started reading it even though I had an office day yesterday and I took this book out with me and I'm gonna insert a clip of me trying to read this thick-ass book at the coffee shop. You know who's a romantasy reader out in public because they're the people who are gonna be carrying around a 600-page book and it looked quite funny and quite ridiculous and quite iconic if you ask me personally. Let me tell you about this book because on chapter 4 we're getting the first Stark POV and I was very excited about this. I love the fact that it goes back in time and it explains his feelings and his thought process from the beginning, from things that happen in book number 1. So far it seems there's one Stark chapter for every 4 Meryn chapters. There's also a lot more thoughts and expanding on Anasa's thought process from things that happen in book 1. So Fury Bound picks up exactly where Direbound ended. If you've read Direbound, you know there's a massive reveal at the end of the book. So this book literally picks up in that exact same moment. So it felt to me like I am continuing with the story, which I guess is how it should be. Also, I read the last chapter of Direbound before I started this just to remind myself how it ends and what happens. Okay, so I'm making more progress through this book. I'm literally sat here reading for a few hours because what would one be doing during their evenings if not reading? And honestly, this book is a slow burn. I found the first book a bit strange in the sense that it's not a love triangle. I know some people describe it as a love triangle, but I wouldn't say that's the case. And then in this book, there's a slight element of a love triangle and also a very, very slow burn. I love a slow burn, but I don't like it to be too slow because then I get bored and I lose interest in the relationship altogether. But overall, I'm loving this book so far. I feel like it's quite fast paced and there's a lot happening. And I love the found family and the way people come together. I also love the sort of like looming threat slash villain element that is still going strong in this book if you've read the first one. I am on chapter 53 of Fury Bound and it's kind of losing me a little bit. And I hate to say this because I've really enjoyed this book. I think the chapters are really short and to the point. There's no like really long inner monologues. The only thing I know about myself is that if a book is too long, towards the end, it will slightly lose me. And I think it's just because we're at page 505 and there's still roughly about 100 pages to go. So this is a 600-page book, which to me is just slightly a bit too long. I think if it was 500 pages, it would have been perfect. But I know that that's not a reason to dislike the book. I just know this about myself. Okay, so I finished Diary Bound and I'm in my bathroom. I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna do my makeup while I chat to you guys about my final thoughts and yeah, what I thought about the book. Overall, I loved the book. I really liked it. Okay, so the ending was good. I just didn't think it was that crazy. It ends technically on a cliffhanger, but to me it felt a bit like the ending was just added on to then have another book to write. To me it feels like the story is somewhat finished at the end of the book. Like you get quite a lot of closure, and for a minute there I was like, okay, so I guess we're just ending the story, like that's it. And then literally I think in the last like few pages you get a reveal, which to me wasn't that crazy. I didn't really see it coming, but also it wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't that shocking. And I guess it sets up for the next book, which I will definitely be reading. It's not that I didn't like this book, I think it just wasn't as good as book number one. I felt like the first half of this book was definitely more centered on the romance. So if you're one of the romance girlies like me, then you know I was definitely eating it up. Like I am here for the romance and I loved it. And I did think like in the second half it was a lot more plot focused and the romance was kind of like set on the back burner. I felt like in certain moments, like romantic scenes would be added in just to check a box rather than sort of feel like you're progressing their connection in any way. I gave Diary Bound 4 stars because I liked it. I just don't know if I will be like rereading it, which is my meter for giving something a 5-star, because I have certain books that I read that I'm like, I love this book so much and I will 100% be rereading this in the future, because I want to like re-experience everything I went through and I want to be like re-immersed into this world. And if I don't want to reread it in the future, then I'll probably give it 4 stars. Also, I had other issues with it that were not big issues, they're just like tiny issues, and I think like a personal preference on how I like my romances. I would definitely recommend reading this book if you like Diary Bound. And yeah, I think that's about it for Fury Bound. And what is very exciting is that today is May 12th, which means that I am getting Broken Dove delivered by Amazon, because today is release day in the UK. So I am very excited to basically start the second book. Oh my god, do I look crazy? Yes. I'm very excited to start the second book in this reading vlog because this is gonna take a while for me to film. This is taking ages, but I'm very excited to read Broken Dove because I also recently read Silver Elite and I liked it. I found it a bit predictable in places. If you've read it, you probably know there's this secret character, I guess I could say that. There's a secret character that has a secret identity in Silver Elite. And as soon as I learned about this secret character, I knew immediately who they were. Like I was like, I know who this is. and it was revealed towards like the end of the book who they were actually, and I was like, I saw this coming. So I gave Silver Elite 4 stars because I don't like to be able to predict what will happen in the books I read. I like them to like take me by surprise and yeah, basically shock me. And when I can predict something, that will probably get a star off. But I guess everyone has their own rating system. The book is here. I am so excited. The package just arrived, so let's open it together. This is what the book looks like on the outside. It's got a really nice dust jacket on. These are the edges, and this is on the inside. And then if we get rid of this dust jacket, this is what the book looks like on the inside. It's got this really nice gold foiling, the title on the side, and then the edges are red all around. This is the Amazon edition in the UK. So I'm gonna start reading this. I'm so excited. We're on page 9, and this is what the book is delivering. Let me read you a paragraph. What I feel for her is a force of nature. It makes it hard to breathe and impossible to stay in control. This woman fucking owns me. I've always been a master of control. My father and I are similar in that way. But from the moment I met Ren, she unleashed chaos inside of me. No one else in this world makes me feel so fucking helpless and so fucking alive at the same time. She's owned my heart since we were kids, and she's going to own it until the day I die. What? Oh my goodness. Page 9, guys. Page freaking 9, okay? I'm gonna keep reading, but I'm having a really good time so far. Okay, so far this book is starting out so strong. We are at the end of chapter 1, and there's a massive reveal. Massive reveal. Now, did I see this coming? No. Oh my god, I want to talk about this so badly, but I obviously don't want to give anything away. So far, the story is really good. We have a prologue, which is from the POV of Cross, and then the book starts, and it's from Ren's POV. And honestly, it goes straight into action. It's same as Furybound. It picks up exactly where Silver Elite left off. And so far, I'm loving it. It's a really big book, same as Furybound. It's 600 pages, so I'm hoping that I'm still gonna love it by the end. Take everything I said back. I repeat, I take everything I said back because I kept reading and the reveal is not what I thought it was. And I spoke too soon. So we'll keep going and I'll update you very soon. I finished it. I provided no updates at 30, 60 or 90%. I feel like I couldn't put this book down, and I gave it 4 stars, but I don't think I had a very good time reading it. And if you're following any of the rumors or any of the narrative about this book online, then maybe you already know what the general consensus is. The book takes a turn in the romance category that I did not love. I don't even know what to say without spoiling this book, but I'm going to try and give my honest thoughts so that you guys can have an idea if you want to read it. And I'm probably going to have to spoil something just because I think it's useful if you read a romance book to know if it has a certain trope in it. So if you don't want to be spoiled at all about this book, then maybe skip forward by like 10 seconds because I am going to give a spoiler. I repeat, I am going to give a spoiler. Okay, so now that we're all here, I want to say that this book has a love triangle in it. And the love triangle it goes very deep. And I loved Ren and Cross in book number 1. And I really wanted them to be the same as Violet and Xaden in Fourth Wing, because that is to this day my favorite romantasy book of all time. And I think something that I love so much about it is the strong romance between them and how they're like inseparable and they fight for each other. And I really wanted this to be the same. I wanted the romance in this to be exactly the same because I felt like the setup for the romance between Ren and Cross in book number 1 was so strong. Like they had this insane connection that would have been very difficult to replicate with anyone else. I thought that they're gonna be like soulmates, and then this book came around, and let me just say that there's some twists and turns that I didn't see coming. But overall, I thought the book was really well written. I would say it's not as action-packed as book number 1, but I didn't mind because the setup was quite good and I loved learning about the world a bit more. Also, I want to say there is a lot of new characters being introduced in this book. Like for the first 30%, I was really struggling to tell the difference between them. There were so many different names, and I feel like none of these people have any distinguishing personality traits for me to tell them apart. A lot of the groundwork that was set in Silver Elite was just a bit wiped down in this book. Like all of a sudden it feels like we're in a completely different world with all new characters and we're learning all of new things. But I still found it very, very engaging despite all of this. It does end in a cliffhanger as well for everyone who is interested and wants to know. I wish I had book number 3 right now to be reading it, and I hate when there's a cliffhanger because it just leaves me in this like reading slump where I just think about this book on repeat. So I'm probably gonna have to pick something else up to get me out of a reading slump after this, or a reading hangover, I guess. So I will be reading book number 3. All I can say is that for people who can speak telepathically, I don't think they're making good enough use of this in this book. Like if I could speak telepathically to my boyfriend or any of my best friends, I feel like I would be talking 24/7 and I would be relaying to them every single thing that happens in my life and every single thought I have. And I just don't think that's what the characters in this book did. I felt like there were opportunities for them to communicate things telepathically a lot more, and it made sense for me that they would do that. And the conversations were often just quite brief and superficial, and I was kind of left there being quite angry because I was like, why are you not communicating? Like, you have the tool, the best tool possible to communicate to someone. Like, you can do it telepathically. No one can eavesdrop. No one can listen into your conversations. Like, why are you not communicating better? I think those are all my thoughts for now. I finished this in 3 days, but I do work full time, so that is quite quick for me. I did spend literally every single minute I had spare outside of my work reading this. So I made my way through it quite quickly. But comparing this to Furybound, I would say I probably preferred this, even though this angered and frustrated me a lot more than Furybound. I would say Furybound was more what I was expecting, and I found it satisfying, and I loved reading about the romance. This was not what I was expecting, and it pissed me off, it angered me, it frustrated me. I ended up seeking validation from people online, reading reviews and checking out Reddit to understand if anyone else is also as frustrated as I am. So if you're still watching this video and you're deciding whether to pick this book up, just know that you might get frustrated, you might get angry, and I think if you approach it with an open mind, I think you'll have a good time. Because I had a good time, even though I was frustrated and angry at times. And sometimes I understand that writing a good and engaging story requires making terrible decisions as an author, because if everything flowed perfectly, I don't necessarily think story would be this engaging. Also, at the same time, I think this book had it was a lot more romance focused. So a lot of the drama and a lot of the conflict came from the romance side of things rather than from the plot side of things. Like, I don't think the action moved along that much, and it wasn't that suspense heavy. I think the romance definitely carried this, but with that in mind, I do recommend both Furybound and Broken Dove. I've now positioned them on my shelf. But if you enjoyed this video and you'd like me to continue making these videos and reading the latest releases, these both were released in May, and I've pre-ordered 2 books that are both releasing in July, which are also romantasies. I've caved and I've ordered Starside by Alex Astor, so I will be reading that on my Kindle because I don't have that much space to be storing all these books. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.